City. It is this sprawling, massive place, miles and miles across. Been here as long as anyone can remember. Nobles play their power games, guilds maneuver for money and influence. Dark things emerge from the shadows to hunt, and the lamplighters take everything in while keeping the darkness at bay. The thing I always wonder is why? Why do these lamplighters keep the darkness back? What investment do they have in Avalon? Streets of Avalon, an urban RPG setting by Brett Blazinski for the world's most popular role-playing game. Ask for it at your friendly local game store or head over to gamingandbs.com/streets. Gaming and BS episode 344 being recorded Wednesday, June 2nd, 2021. Welcome to Gaming NBS, a tabletop RPG podcast. I'm Sean.
And I'm Brett. Welcome to the show, folks. Welcome back. Glad everybody's here. Sean, how are you, man? Been struck with the random remodeling bug. So, have you been able to do any gaming since we talked last, or have you just been up to your ass in paint and ceiling and floors? What have you been? Gaming?
Delta Green last night. Because there you go. Those guys were like, hey, we're gonna run Delta Green, and I'm like, okay. So
how'd it go?
It was one of those where you kind of get to the point where it's like, all right, we uncovered this rock, uncovered that rock, uncovered this rock. Now what should we do? So it was good. I like it. I was a little off my game.
We've been busy. Tearing your home office apart.
Yeah. So for those that aren't in the know, I woke up on last Friday. Thursday? I don't know. Thursday. Thanks, Brett. Tell me what day it is. And I decided to, up at 7:30 in the morning, I was checking my router for some reason, decided to upgrade the firmware. And I bricked my router.
Oops.
So Sean's frantically trying to get his router in place before a 10 o'clock meeting with a client. And as he's doing that, he goes downstairs, starts screwing with stuff, and, I've got an extra one that I've been paying for 2 years. Well, I'll plug that in and use that, and then I'll go in and check something. So I've got this room behind here, and I pick up the litter box. I got it stinks. What the hell? Litter boxes stink. Sure. I put the litter box down, and then I get, wait a minute. Why is my hand wet? Oh, for fuck's sake. So I place the litter box on the floor. Well, the bottom of the litter box is wet, so it's piss, like cat piss.
Oh, they did the whole hanging off the edge, and there you go.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And then,
lovely.
So I have this was all carpeting, okay, ladies and gentlemen. And I had this litter box on. I cut out carpeting, a square, and put like this old vinyl plank that I had, and I just put it down there for the hell of it. But that was all just wet. And of course, the bottom litter box, I set it somewhere. Well, now I transferred it over there.
Damn it.
So I got the router hooked up, and then I'm like, you know what? I got the rug cleaner, liquid cleaner thingy, vacuum out, started, running that through. It was just a mess. It was just, by 11:30, I had 5 huge things go wrong, and I could not take it. So literally, I don't know if it was later that day. I think it was later that day. I started ripping out my carpet.
Yeah, Sean pulled a Brett. He's like, fuck this. He burned it down, salted the earth, and now has to rebuild.
Not that you guys care, but I ripped out my carpet. And then, of course, underneath the carpet was, yes, if you guessed carpet, you win. 2 levels of carpet.
Why wouldn't you? Wait a minute.
It doesn't end there, ladies and gentlemen. That's right.
There's a horrible, nasty foam pad glued to the floor.
A very, very thin foam residue. And I don't know if it's glued or it's just been sitting there for so long that it's been embedded into the concrete. So Sean has to scrape it up. Yeah! But that doesn't end there, ladies and gentlemen, because you know what? Shit, if you're going to pull up the carpet, You might as well paint all the walls and the trim and the molding and change all the fixtures. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to get some vinyl flooring. Yeah, simple enough, right? Give some vinyl flooring, order some, go online, have it get screwed around by the people you buy it from, and then you finally have it delivered. It's a day late, but it's delivered, and you might be able to get it knocked out before the show on Wednesday night. 42 cartons of the wrong product. Yeah, that's right. Sean Knucklehead bought the wrong shit. So now he has 42 cartons of freaking glue plank, freaking crap stuff that he doesn't want. Yeah.
And then you figured out how to return it, though, so they're coming to get it.
They're coming
back.
I got to give them credit. They screwed me around, but then they said, yeah, we'll pick it up. I'm like, oh, my God. And they didn't say anything about charges, so I got to go out and load all that on the pallets tomorrow morning because I don't want it out in the public for people to steal.
Oh, yeah. It'll be scammed, yeah, at that point, yep.
And then I took the day off today thinking I could do flooring.
You'd be laying floor, yeah.
I haven't been laying flooring. I've been painting doors and painting trim and putting fixtures on and a railing, and I have been losing my fucking mind.
I was trying to get my I assume you haven't gotten my risotto order yet because I put that in a while ago.
Dude. So once now 2.5 weeks later, I will get flooring, and then I'll put it in this place, and it's gonna look top notch. And then I got to get molding, and then I'm gonna be done. And then I'm gonna fix this setup. Like, I don't like the shit that I got going around here. I even so on top of it, when you I have a gaggle fuck of wires behind all this shit, right?
Yeah.
So of course my wife's like, "Hey, Alexa, turn on the living room lights." Sean, we don't have any lights. Can you turn on the lights? Sure. Okay. So I have to since I bought new Wi-Fi, because I bricked my router, I troubleshot my freaking internet for like 2 hours one day because the fucking shit wouldn't work. All I had to do is reset it. It's so fucked. So now I got So Sean's like, I'm going to put this shit in a little area, and no matter what fucking happens, it's always going to work. If Sean pulls all his crap apart, it's always going to work because it's all behind this wall, mounted. It's like a wiring closet.
There you go.
So I'm sorry that I had to go off on this rant, but if not, it's my mental health is at stake here.
You needed that, dude. You were in rough shape. I've got the
messages for Brett and some guys.
I've got the 18 hours worth of Voxer messages of the blow by blow of what the fuck is wrong with me? How come I can't do this? Oh my God, I can't believe this company did this to me. Yeah.
I was like day 30, day 35. Somebody said food.
Somebody said food, yes.
Day 413.
I thought they passed me in the wrong dossier. Wait a minute, wrong game. Wait, where are we? What's going on?
Anyways.
Oh, Lord.
So literally, folks, ladies and gentlemen, we didn't record on Monday as scheduled. And then last night I had a game, and then Brett was like, Wednesday will work. And literally up until like 7:20, this dude did not have his computer like powered on or anything. So I'm like, I don't know if any of this shit's going to work because I tore shit apart.
We'll see what happens. Well, for gaming on my side, just to throw this at you, I didn't get a ton in. One of my gaming group found out his mom is incredibly sick. So he needed to cancel a game, go visit, talk to doctors, and figure things out, which just sucked.
That's not like what I'm doing is nothing compared to that shit.
Yeah, it's one of those things like, I'm not trying to top you. It's just one of those things that wrecked my last Thursday's game. But we're like, you know what? It's all right, Alpha, go deal with your stuff. I took off that evening then with AJ, went up to the family place in the UP, and he and I played board games and a card game called Three Cheers for Master by Atlas Games, which we like. Played an older version of Talisman. I think it's the 3rd edition, back when Games Workshop still published it. And then Duke, Yeah, we like doing that. So then we got some really good hiking time. It was nice being outside. Bugs were thick, brutal, bad in the one section of woods we went through, which kind of drove my son a little more nutty than it did. But otherwise, it was really nice to get away for a little bit. And
Just put some deed on you, man. You're good to go.
Oh, I deed it up pretty good.
Deed it up.
He was
yeah.
like, yeah. Did wait till your lips turn blue, then you know you've got enough.
Good to go.
But this week is back to Alpha's game, and then let's see here. Oh, Friday I'm gaming with my kids because the holiday kind of messed things around. The kids have finals this week and stuff. So, but I think both of them are done with school on Friday. So Friday night we'll play some first edition AD&D Forgotten Realms with the kids. So that'll be fun. Let me think here. Oh, Gamehole Con. I've got I marked my calendar so that this weekend I can put my get my shit together and either submit my games or at least get the blurbs down, figure out what it is I want to run, how many games I want to run, and so forth. I don't like to overload myself. I can't do a Brendan LaSalle where I run like 18 gajillion hours or something nuts, or Doc where he runs. I ran for 46 hours straight. I haven't slept in days. I can't do that. But I've got at least run one, if not two Avalon games. I'll probably pull something else out too, just not quite sure what. But I'll run 2-3 games. Something will happen. So
2, 3, 4, 2, 3,
2, 3, 4,
whatever it
something
takes.
like that.
20.
2, 3, 220, 221.
220,
whatever it takes.
221, whatever it takes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey,
if you're gonna run for Gaming and BS, let us know.
That's right.
You know,
Absolutely.
let us know. We'll make sure somebody's gonna show up for that game, and we will appreciate it. And we've been known to give a gesture of goodness.
Yeah, we got to talk about that, man. We got to get that figured out too. Shit, you and I got some. We got some stuff to talk about, man.
Should order them now.
Probably should.
Yeah.
I should probably order them and have them delivered to your place so that for some reason they don't show up 3 hours north when they need to be down there or something dumb. We'll figure this out.
I have the box that you gave me too. So,
all right.
Do you know how many's in there? I haven't opened it.
20, 30.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Figure it out.
So yeah, random encounter. Let's move on.
Random encounter. All right.
We'll never get anywhere today. Otherwise, let's just go on.
2 to 4 miscellaneous points. Gaming Geekery. Want to bring chair with you?
You know what? I'll start. You've had a rough day.
What? Oh,
I
no.
know.
See, might as well just keep me way off my toes.
Exactly. I'm just whack, boom. You're back in the heels. Just boom, cheap shot. All right. Mark Tasaka wrote into us an email. So I'd like to wish you a respectful and honorable Memorial Day. I'd also like to thank you and the veterans for your service to our community. I believe you served overseas in Germany as part of an Army artillery unit. This is to Sean. And Sean, that is correct. Yes? You were in Germany.
Yeah.
You were artillery.
I was. Yep. I was a 13 Echo Fire Direction Specialist.
Was that Lords of Battle?
King of Battle.
King of Battle. My apologies.
King of Battle. Infantry is Queen of Battle.
That's right. He goes on as well.
Big
I want
guns.
to let you. Oh yeah, big guns.
Big guns.
Big fucking guns.
Take that, Sergeant Dan.
Mark comes back and he continues. He says, as well, I want to let you know I recently wrote a Dungeon Crawl Classics adventure and have mentioned Gaming BS podcast in the acknowledgments. I sent some copies to you and Brett, plus some extras for your friends. The drive-through RPG order was dispatched this week. He's hoping you can receive it sometime this week, which is pretty cool. Please let me know if you do not receive the books in the next couple of weeks, so follow up with drive-through. Keep up the excellent work you're doing with the podcast. Sincerely, Mark. Mark, that's super sweet of you, man. That's very nice. Very, very kind of you to send us anything like that. That's so nice.
And I did confirm that I did get them. So I'm like, what is this? What did I order? And then I opened it up, and there's 10 modules, and I'm like, I know this is Mark Tasaka.
It's gotta be Mark. That son of a gun.
He sent us. We never thanked him on the air, but I did thank him in an email that he sent me sent us. I ate it all, but
I figured you would.
It comes to me. A bunch of candy from Canada because he was like, you guys have different candy, like just a ton of candy. I ate all the chocolate stuff, all the good stuff. Thanks, Mark. And then he sent us like 10 of his modules that he wrote, and he has done that in the past that we have given them away, and it was for like I think we gave him around a Gamehole Con DCC compatible stuff. So, yeah, we'll be looking at giving those away probably Gamehole Con because then we don't have to ship them. But we may
Yep.
ship a few. We'll see. Thanks, Mark.
Absolutely. Mark, you're top notch, dude. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Not just because you sent that to us. That was just kind of you to even think about us in any way. So it's just really nice.
Yeah,
And
thank you so
Thank
much.
you for that. Over to you, Sean.
All right. So Ray Otis comments on his own topic, expecting too much from RPGs. This guy. First of all, I laughed pretty loud when Sean jokingly told me to fuck off. I love that.
Was he joking? I'm kidding. Of course you were. Carry on.
yeah.
It was funny.
Certainly. When I think, I love that. And I certainly don't want to be the sad sack that makes everyone depressed about their RPG love. I think y'all did a good job with the topic and hit a lot of perspectives. Certainly, when I wrote that post, I needed balance, and it had nothing to do with not having fun. I am having fun with RPGs, maybe too much fun. I discovered that I was using them to escape other things in life that needed my attention, and when I felt down about RPGs, it was more about guilt. The guilt of disappearing too much into RPG hole and not spending a proper amount of time working hard, taking care of my physical health, and relating to friends and family and so on. So, the point. Sometimes you need balance, even when you're having a good time with RPGs. I play 3 times a week and love my groups, but for a well-rounded life, for me at least, I need to put my energy into other things too. I know Brett hunts, and I know now how much Sean loves making risotto.
Which is Ray's polite way of telling you to go fuck off.
So I know you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
Smiley.
absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks, Ray.
No, thanks, Ray. I like the good perspective too. You know, the balance even when you're having a good time with your hobby and so on. I think that's important. So very good. Cool. Thanks, man. I thought it was a fun topic. It was something a little bit different
Yes.
to talk about. So it was pretty cool.
Was cool.
All right. Who we got next? Blake Ryan. On streaming and recording RPGs, I ran about 50 sessions online, most available on YouTube's. One thing I like to do is I can screen share location pictures, large scale maps, and NPC portraits using famous people in Sepia or Sepia to give fuel to the theater of the mind, condiments to the shared meal, you might say. Most of the games have been with the Gauntlet, where rule questions are generally typed into chats, so verbal is mostly in character. Everybody mutes themselves unless they are talking to remove excess audio clutter. Spotlight is shifted often to keep people engaged, and bio breaks every 60 to 90 minutes is standard. I'm massively in favor of recording games. I shall tell you why. During the 90s, I played and ran hundreds of games, like 2 to 4 a week. Some of them were great fun, and some of them were goddamn train wrecks. But they're really starting to blur thanks to the distance of time. But with YouTube, etc., you can go back and watch the stories you created, learn from the lessons, and laugh at the bizarre situations that evolved. Even when that stuff happened 2 years ago, I could rewatch and go, wow, I'd forgotten that. That game was a cracker. Pretty cool. You know, we're like, I hadn't actually thought about the reference aspect of streaming stuff online. So that's the piece that you wrote there that really that made me go, huh, interesting. Never even thought about that. But there's something to be said there. It's going to be, did that game go the way I thought it did? Well, let's rewind that and find out. You know, because we have a different memory, as you said, with time can color and change how we see things. But that's the actual capture of what it is. So, all right, Sean, what do you want to do here?
There was a person on Twitter that responded. So I put it out on Twitter. We put it on Twitter. What are 2 to 3 most important elements of either producing or consuming an actual play show, podcast or stream? And we had some people respond, and of course, some were like good audio quality, you know, rules, you know, whatever their preferences were. And one of them felt like we got on me and somebody else were talking about, you know, listening to people eat potato chips or something like that. And the individual said, hey, I feel like I'm being attacked. And I think they subtweeted it, so it's not under the original post. But I had to ask them, like, if you're not, we'll get into it. But
yeah, I mean, some of the other pieces had Grindhouse Media LLC had having a format like, hey, you know, have a set like theme songs, and just it's not that hard to do to put some skills into it and so on. Changing up the cast, adding players. I thought from like, hey, if you want to do this and make it an event type of thing, pretty cool. He had some good good pieces in there.
Yeah, but like VC weighed-ins had character, story, mechanics, and commented on each audio quality. The Huss man, who we know. Blake chimed in, of course. So, yeah, we should probably get into it, right?
Let's jump, man.
All right, let's get to the main topic.
All right, so Sean wanted to talk about this, so this is all his fault. In addition to destroying his basement, he's making me talk about this.
This is I'm telling you, it's the wrecking ball. Like,
it's the wrecking ball.
Yeah, when you have that small, just when something small happens to you, bring in the wrecking ball. Do the most you could do to fix that. Like,
yeah.
Like if it's your game and I don't know.
Burn it down, salt the earth. And,
burn it down. Tell everybody.
Fire all your players and start over.
Make your own.
So,
make your own and then get different people to play with.
Exactly, because I hate them all. So now, Sean and I were talking about this a little bit off the mic, so we didn't want to spoil the conversation too much on the nobody can hear us type of thing. One of the things that's interesting to me is from live streaming, I think about live streaming, I pull back from having a good format, how much production value, how much this, sound quality. To me, some of that stuff is that's great, but that's almost not an advanced topic. That's like the next stage of the topic for me. I think, honestly, Sean, when people say, hey, I want to stream my game, my first question is why? And I learned to do that to everybody I work with, because somebody will come up and say, hey, Brett, you're the infrastructure director. Could you build me 5 SQL servers? For why? What for? Well, we'd like to try this, that, and the other thing. How about you use the dev boxes that are already assigned to your team that are in the global? Oh, yeah, okay, cool, bye, thanks. Otherwise, I just gave my DBA team a shit ton of work, and then they riot, right? Why would I? This is dumb.
Screw DBAs.
Oh, dude.
Just kidding.
Some of my favorite people are DBAs.
They're all right.
Anyway, so I think there's got to be like, why are you doing it? Because I think I've heard people talk about, like, is it worth it? How much work is it? Oh my gosh, I got to do all this stuff and things. But why the hell do you want to do it? And
fame and fortune, baby. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can make tens of dollars doing this.
That's right.
Yes. I think there's an interesting piece that comes to my mind when I think about why. And it's because of some of the negatives that people run into. And are you prepared for that? So Matt Colville talked about this a while ago. I think I brought it up in the show. When he was first streaming his game, he called it the what was it? The signal to noise ratio. He said the noise was getting too much. And basically he said people are slagging on his players. Like they're not doing proper voices. They're not actors. You're not an actor. You have no business. He was told this. You have no business streaming as a game master because you're not a trained actor. Matt Mercer can because he's good enough, blah, blah, blah.
I mean,
Well, yeah, clearly. The other thing that he said was he said, my friends, I'm trying to play this game and enjoy it with my friends and share it with some people. And the scrutiny was annoying. Like he had a friend of his made this little logo for him. And somebody, like the guy took it out of his own time, set up all this stuff, did all this work, helped Matt out. This cute little logo, a cool logo, kind of fun. And someone in their Reddit was like, "Does this bother anybody else? This is like 2 pixels off, like from center." That's like, I show it to my buddy. He's like, "Fuck that guy," right? I mean, it can be a very vitriolic place because it's online and you're in the public eye. Sean and I, we pick on Mudskipper. Mudskipper hates us, and that's fine. And talked about him for a while. Love you. But whenever you do something like...
We could bash the shit out of him because he's not listening to the show.
Not listening to it.
Fuck you, Mudskipper.
But somebody's going to listen to whatever it is or watch whatever it is you're doing, and they're not going to like it. And there are people who are compelled at the deepest part of their soul, entity, being, whatever drives them, that they must grab the nearest keyboard, log in to their account, and tell you personally how much you suck or how much they could have done it better or whatever it is. And I don't bring that up to like scare the crap out of people, whatever, but that is shit that happens. So when someone says, well, I really want to stream my game, I'm like, why do you want to do it? And are you ready for any of this stuff that sometimes comes with it? Because if Sean and I say, hey, I'm going to run Streets of Avalon and I want to get some BSers to play. Great. So we're going to do that thing. And if I spring on them the last, oh yeah, Sean and I are going to stream the game. You could get a group of 4 people show up and go, I don't, it can kind of freak people out, right? So if you're setting this up like you're going to stream, it's a thing you really want to do. I think some of the best reasons I saw in our Twitter feed there, Sean, were the whys. I'm trying to teach a system, I want to showcase a setting. I want to, entertainment is the foremost thing. The rest of it is secondary. Showcase role-playing aspects, story building skills, showcase players, game master skills, abilities, and so on. Interacting with viewers. Some shows take a big interest in interacting with chat rooms. They actually have people monitoring chats, making sure that they can go back and forth, building that online community, right? So that they're watching you live and being the audience member is a big piece there. And I think if you don't have a goal in mind, it can be very easy to try to be everything for everybody and not try to stick to what it is that you're there to do. Because if you try to be everything to everybody, Sean and I have talked about this podcast. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is how we're going to talk about it. And some people are like, well, yeah, but if you did this other thing, we're not interested in that. That's a different show. Go do that other show if you want to, or find someone else. It's just not our bag. If you try to be everything to everybody in a stream, it's not going to go well because you're going to miss every mark or hit some better and skip over a couple others and so on. So that to me is a big thing. Like, why the hell do you want to do it? So, Sean, do you stream your Forbidden Lands games?
I don't stream them. I told the guys I wasn't going to stream them. I did record them, and then we had we had to change up some technology, and so like there was one session I didn't because it became a problem.
Why were you recording it? Just for posterity, for reference?
Well, I was going to probably launch it audio-wise, or I could upload it to YouTube, honestly. But I think if it wasn't a one-shot, because we've done that too, with Merkborg, Meta RPG, or White Lies, or whatever. I think those two for sure. They're one shots, so I thought they were fairly decent in the way that they both were run by Harrigan, shocker, and so they were good run games, one shots, and they're good players. And I think if you're going to stream or you're going to record them, if I were to do it again, I would say, okay, here's the deal. We're going to stream this game. What does that mean? And probably take some time to let the players kind of how it's going to roll or how it's going to be produced or if it's going to go to YouTube, what it's going to look like. So
I honestly think some of this is it's kind of replay the cliche of session 0, right? But this is an absolute another level of we're going to do this. What are your expectations as player and game master and group of what it means to stream the game? Some people are like, I don't give two fucks. We're just going to play the game how we play it. If someone doesn't like us and they don't like our silly potty humor and they don't like this and they don't like the way that we're always get fucking hammered when we play, or I'm eating chips, I don't give a shit. Okay, fine. That's your shtick. That's your thing.
Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that. I promise you, I'm not bagging on that.
Nothing wrong with it if you don't care if anybody listens or not.
Yeah, but if you say, well, what I'm trying to do, so when I did the Streets of Avalon actual play podcast, it was specifically because I wanted to use it as a marketing arm for a Kickstarter that I knew was going to come. We wanted to make sure we showcase certain pieces. We picked some good players. I thought I did a good job myself. We had a lot of fun doing it, and we cranked the stuff out. It was a ton of fun. But there was a goal in mind, right? And we talked about it up front, saying, hey, we're not going to, it's about showcasing the setting and the types of stories to be told in the setting more than it is the 5e system. So we're not going to worry a ton about what mechanic do you use, what type of initiative system. We didn't get into tons of that because that was not the goal. The goal was setting and characters and the story components of it. So the idea being, again, to showcase Avalon and say, this is what it's like. These are the type of games you can play here. Here's some cool story ideas. So that was the purpose, and that helped drive how, from an actual play perspective, we approached everything. You know, no one said, well, okay, so when I roll this die, I add these 2 bones. There was no outside mechanical narration, really.
I was going to say, I listened to a couple of the episodes, and I don't remember if you guys mentioned the mechanics, like roll me a 20, I rolled a 16. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know if you did that.
That happens. Like, okay, give me one of my stupid little cliches is, give me a quick whatever check. Give me a quick athletics check. Give me a quick like the speed of the check matters for some reason. Like give me a slow dexterity check. No one ever says that. Anyway, so it'd say, hey, give me a dexterity save, throw me an athletics check, do this, do that. They roll, yep, got a 13, got a 14. That was the extent, though.
Okay.
Hey, Brett, why did you choose that? Why did you do this? There was not a lot of what I would consider, if you listen to that, you're not going to learn how to play 5e, is what I'm telling you.
Fair. The reason I bring that up is some people will play the game and then the person that edits will take that out.
Yes, sometimes you can hack all that stuff out because it has nothing to do with it. So again, I wanted to showcase the system, the setting, and the system was, just a secondary piece. That was a focal point, and that helped to drive how we tried to present it. And I think if you look at things like Critical Role or whatever, they have things they're trying to showcase and do or draw your attention to versus other components, right? They're not there to teach you how to play Dungeons and Dragons, I don't believe.
No.
From what I've watched.
I would not say I want to learn how to play D&D. Watch those guys. I mean, if you wanted to learn.
Well, I and Frank House, when we were with Craig Shipman and we did Blades in the Dark,
right?
We went through the mechanic components of it, like, ooh, that's how that functions and so forth. But that was not, in my opinion, a teaching the game stream. And if nothing else, and let's say Craig were to be, Craig's listening to this right now going, Brett, you dick. It was absolutely that. He may perceive it as that. I did not. And that, again, does it matter? No, it's not that big a deal. But if we were going to do that all the time, and Craig said, look, what I really want to do here is really teach people the Blades in the Dark system. Then I would say things like, okay, Craig, how do you want to do that? Right? We're going to do this long term. That was a one shot. How do you want to do that long term? Do you want me to stop you and ask you what the mechanic is? How do we make that happen? Because again, in that session 0 type of thing, there's more my perception of what it means to teach someone a game, yours, Craig's, Frank House's, Harrigan's, Eileen's, Ange's, it's all different potentially. And how you're going to teach someone a game, how I teach versus how you teach, Sean, 2 different people. We teach differently. You do it wrong. I do it the right way. Yeah, okay, you're still paying attention. I got an eye roll. All right, just want to make sure you're still with me. But does that make sense?
Exhausted to do anything else.
I figured I'd get away with a little extra sass because you're too tired to come through the phone on me, type of thing. But does that make sense, though? It's kind of a session 0 goal in mind type of thing.
It is. It is. And it's because when you decide to do that, whether you have experience or not, there's going to be somebody at the table that might not. And so there's playing the game. That's not what we're talking about. Like, you play the game whatever. But if you decide to record it and you want to put it out there for a particular reason, again, Brett talked about the many reasons.
Yep.
I think you have to, if somebody hasn't, and I'm terrible at it. I haven't sat down with like Blake and VC when we played Delta Green. We're going to stream it or something and say, okay, here's kind of how it's going to roll. We just flip the switch and we kind of, we get through it. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. But at the same time, here's the deal. When you watch Twitch streamers and they're playing actual plays and it's Critical Role or whatever it is, there's a certain format and a certain approach. And some of them are, hey, I'm a live streamer. That's what I do for a career. And they have a script. So when they say, hey, thanks for, we're going to throw it over to Brett. Brett, hey, welcome, blah. The format of what you have Brett say can matter. I mean,
absolutely.
Or
yes.
Brett feels off, like he doesn't know what to say when you say, okay, Brett, you're on the spot.
Hey, Brad, how can people find you on the internet?
Right.
The only reason I have that answer is because I've been asked and answered it a few dozen times.
But some people are like, I don't know. Do I give them my Twitter account? Do I give them my website? Maybe
fuck off. I don't want anybody to follow me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're here to play White Lies.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a weird thing, but it some people do it better than others, and some you just need to kind of like, all right, here's what we're gonna do. I would even say if I were to do it again, besides even doing a session 0 for streaming, if I were to do a podcast, there's podcasts that will rehash who their characters are every time, or they will record something and then they'll put it out there. Yep. I would probably go. I would introduce the player characters and the players, just to make it, easy, done. Brett is playing blah blah blah.
Yep, we did it.
Blake
the reason,
blah.
Yeah, the reason for the Streets of Avalon, Chris, and we all decided at the time. Like Tom's like, hey, let's all do it ourselves. Tom runs Nights and a Night, so he's been doing actual Blake podcast since Hector was a pup. But one of the reasons to have the players do it, and this is again a style thing, is having Tom say who he's playing, Brett say what he's doing, Sean say who he's playing. Your voice is now connected to the name. So when they hear the name, they hear the voice. Right. And they so there's that. And then we basically recorded it, cut it, and then Chris just put it at the front of every episode, just as a quick reminder type of thing. But your way is totally legit too. And I think that just continues to underscore, like, how the hell are you going to do this thing? Right.
Right. How are you going to do it? Yeah, I don't know.
I think the other piece, and now everyone on the, not everyone, but lots of people on the Twitter mentioned it. And I know you brought it up to me here, and it does make sense, right? If you're going to put this out there, and this goes to the scrutiny piece, and some people don't like being on display, and some people are really good gamers, you really want to play with them, they're having a lot of fun. Technical issues can be a son of a bitch if you're not in the same room, right? So if you're playing at a table with a complicated setup, with your trapezoidal table and this huge fucking, practically TV show production values, good for you, lucky you. But when you're doing like what Sean and I are doing, if we're running it, we want to stream it, somebody's doing the streaming stuff. A lot of times I have to snag Sean because I don't know enough about it. I just haven't put the time in to learn it. But somebody has a technical issue, or we're playing, everything's going fine, and my wife walks in the room behind me to get a book off the shelf. No one gives you shit, right? I'm making this up. But if she walks back there, grabs it, sometimes that just, people are like, oh my God, we get very self-conscious suddenly because we're on display. Right. It can freak people out, like, who's looking at me, what's being done, did I wear the right shirts, is this good lighting? Some people could give two fucks, and some people, like, I do not have my camera on because guess what, my internet is bad today, but I'm going to play anyway, so I'm just going to do voice. We've all had, I shouldn't say we all, but I have at least encountered that in a number of different online gameplays where somebody just has a shitty internet day, like you did, Sean, like they brick their router and they're streaming on their phone, and you're like, okay, it's not live, but they're just, I'm not publishing it for anybody. It was just an online game we were running. so and so had to go without a video because it was too laggy for them.
Right.
And if you are trying to have a production of some kind, this is that session 0 conversation again, is that, do you have a decent mic? Do you have a 1080p camera? Are you using your iPhone? Are you doing? Some people don't care, and some people it doesn't matter, and some of it is all the same. It's all the value of the show and whatnot. But some people have a level that they're anticipating. And if Sean, if you're going to run a stream, and I want to be part of it, and you've got a level of, let's just call it professionalism or technical savvy that you expect everybody in your game to have, you better be clear on that, because it can be rough. You know what I'm saying? If people show up with less than top end equipment or whatever the case is, or a shitty mic, or a really noisy house, or a dog that's constantly barking, or a cat that's always in front of the screen, this can piss some people off when you're trying to stream stuff, and it annoys the hell out of some people. I don't know.
Yes.
I know you're a stickler for sound and that type of quality, so I know that that's near and dear to your heart.
I think that there is look, it goes back again to why you're streaming or putting it out there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't give two shits what Sean thinks, and I say Sean as in me or the general public, great. I mean, there was a person on Twitter that's like, hey, I think I'm being attacked here. And I said, okay, great. So you don't give a shit if your sound sucks. Help me understand why you don't care if your audio quality blows. Of course, I put it more delicately, but I wanted to know, like, it didn't make sense to me, right? Like, if you're gonna put it out there, why wouldn't you want to set it at least a certain baseline? And he said the players didn't. The players didn't want the tech to get in the way. I can listen to it later and help me become a better game master. Like, listen to my goods and bads, and then so I'm like, well, what about prosperity's sake? Like, are you gonna you just want it to kind of like reflect upon your group, reflect upon it and whatever? Yeah, essentially. So I'm like, okay, that's fine, but then don't go soliciting viewers or listeners. Like, hey, listen to our show. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, hey, we put out a shitty show, we know it, and we're gonna want you to listen to it.
Yeah.
Now, on the flip side, you don't have to. It's also a podcast kind of thing. Like, people are going to listen to us, and then they're not going to listen to us, and the
Correct.
reason's going to be all over the place. But I think with the competition with specifically podcasts, the bar, I mean, there's like millions of them out there. And if you just kind of like, well, your first impression is the sound of a transistor radio, they better have some pretty damn good content, or you appreciate the topics that they're talking about.
Anyone listening doesn't know what a transistor radio is, go find your grandpa.
Transistor radio. Probably should explain that.
I think so. Back to, I think you did right, Sean. It comes to the goal, right? If your goal is to, I really want to be entertaining. I want to be. If your goal is legitimately like, look, I want to be better than, Matt Colville. I want to be better than Matt Mercer. I want to have this kick-ass blah, blah, blah. Eric Frankhouse does a really good stream production. He puts some great stuff together. We were part of of the Blades in the Dark game, and I thought that was Craig did a great job on that. The production value, I'm like, holy crap, that's probably one of the nicest
he did a pretty good
streaming
really
shows
job.
I've ever been on. That was awesome.
I think you can be better than Critical Role.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think you can.
Oh,
I
absolutely
think they have some parts of their show that could be better, and they got pros, man. They got people sitting behind a mixer and a freaking video switcher, probably a Telecaster that's pretty high end. But they could do Instead of the four people, three people, and this person, Mercer at the top, when he goes to talking to somebody solo, he could switch it to one-on-one. Doesn't do that, but that's okay.
That's their thing. That's their setup, and that's either tradition, what people like, what the fans enjoy, and so on. And I think if you're doing this because, like, look, I don't care about the quality, I don't care about this, and we're just doing it for fun. Fun is a legit reason to do it. If it's just a hoot for you and your team to produce this thing and throw it out there, and if you guys sit around and get a giggle out of everybody who bags on you because you've got bad sound quality, that could be funny. But I guess at the end of the day it sounds goofy to say, but if you really want to do it, go ahead and do it. Someone's going to ask you, and someone's going to give you that scrutinization and say, hey, your sound's kind of bad. It sounds like you're in a tin can in the bottom of an ocean, or it sounds like everything's muffled, or I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like the way this person sits, I don't like this person's approach to their character, I don't like the fact that the story. You may get all that, maybe you care, maybe you don't, but I think just making sure you're clear with yourself and everybody in the group shares that same vision, you're gonna have a hell of a lot easier time. Because even if it's like, look, our fun is that punk rock vibe mixed in my garage, and I know 3 chords. That's a vibe you could totally do. You could absolutely pull that off. Sean would never listen to that.
Don't do it.
Sean wouldn't listen to it. But what I'm saying is that I'm not going to tell somebody that you can't stream your role-playing game unless you have a certain level of high-end quality, and you can't I won't let you produce a role-playing product because you have not hit this arbitrary bar that I'm going to set. I can't say that. You know what I mean?
I can.
Oh, you can, because you're a jerk.
No.
You get what I'm saying? Or
you
don't agree with me, do you?
Yeah. I think I don't know. I've got so much to say. There's so many things for this thing. I don't know. I don't know. I guess yes. What do you want to do? How you want to do it? And then I would set it up so you're wanting to produce it in a particular way that's going to be consumable, and and it's a creative endeavor. You're going to freaking get people that are going to tell you it sucks. And you have to be able to say, okay, it's not your jam. We got Mud Skipper and a couple others on my YouTube channel. That's fine. It's okay. Because I think the thing is with people like Mud Skipper and some other folks that are like, dude, I was wanting Mothership to be serious, and you guys are a bunch of, laughing knuckleheads, and you didn't take the game serious. What's up, Game Master? I can reflect on that and say, okay, I think they're off the deep end a little bit on their approach. But to say that I don't think about their legit beef would be complete false. I think wait a minute here. Hold on a second. Could I have made that better? If I run an Alien game, do I want to portray a certain feel for that Alien game? Like, okay, humor's okay, but maybe it's not as much. Mm-hmm. Maybe I need to set the tone of the game, which isn't even streaming. It's just a session 0 component, right? So run the game and then determine how your format for your podcast, AP, or stream is going to be. Just like a podcast. I don't think a stream should be treated any differently than a podcast. And a lot of people don't know how to, I don't want to say how to podcast, but there's so many things that they could do. They just have to kind of pick a direction, hone in on it, and follow it.
Well, it's very much it's very much a do it yourself, the DIY vibe in the hobby, right?
It is, and I think people that do research, but they don't ask the people that are actually doing it. Like there was a guy on Twitter that's like, I didn't know. No, I didn't know. I didn't know how to do it. So of course I bought this mic. I set it in the middle of the table, and the audio quality sucked. I didn't know how to do this or that, and I'm like, why didn't you ask somebody?
Yeah,
Damn. There's
a lot
like
of people out
shit
there
tons
that
of
tell you.
podcasters out
Yeah.
there that'll tell you, like, don't buy that fucking mic. It sucks ass.
Why do you have a Yeti snowball in the middle of the room? Ah, for Christ's sake, it's terrible.
Right. Live and learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
So you can, you want to still do it that way. That's okay. But at least you'll know why it's the way it is.
I honestly, when I thought about the topic before we got to it, whatever, and just to kind of beat the dead horse a little bit again here is, why are you doing it? And if you have a good reason, everyone's with it. And when I say good, it's just something that you and your crew buy into. Like, yep, this is why we're doing it. We all get it. And this is our jam. This is why we're streaming this game, why we're doing an actual play. Good, great, awesome. Stick to it. When you have that, it becomes a rudder to start a guide you buy type of thing, right? Hey, we're here to teach games, man. We are here to teach people how to play Power of the Apocalypse games. That's why that's all we play, because that's our goal. With this actual play podcast stream, we're doing PBTA. That's our jam. Okay, cool, great, good on you. That's your thing. When someone says, "Hey, how come you guys don't ever play anything other than?" Please read the the description of our mission statement, type of thing. And when you have that, when I want
to interrupt quick. I don't think it's a bad thing when somebody says, "How come you don't do anything else other than PBTA?" Because they're telling you they like how you roll and they like
Absolutely.
your show, and they may find they may have a gaming bias that they prefer other things other than PBTA. But they like you as how you produce it and entertain, and how you go through the rules and explain how things are going to happen and entertain. So don't take that as a knock.
Nope.
But that's okay if you don't want to play anything else other than PBTA.
And
I want to play anything else but 5e. Hey, that's okay, right?
And a legit answer back is because we don't want to, right? Unless you're being paid in a certain, to do a certain thing, the answer could be, yeah, that's not our thing. I appreciate your comment. Thank you very much. Moving on. But I think having that, the reason why you want to do it is, it's very do-it-yourself. You could say, look, we're just doing it because it's fun. Everybody seems to be doing it. We thought we'd try it. And holy shit, when we stream our games, we as a group feel our game is up. It goes up a notch. We get into character more. We have better stories. We are having more fun streaming our games than when we don't stream our games. If that is a thing, which is conceivable and may very well be what's going on, that's fucking awesome. Do that, because sometimes watching people. So I'll tell you right now, Brett. When I look at it, Brett does not think watching somebody play a role playing game for hours on end is at all entertaining. That's just not me.
There's a lot of people like that.
Yes, there are.
They'll even stream.
Yes,
and they don't watch people play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that's fine.
I was the same way. Like I couldn't grok actual plays for the longest time. Podcast, same thing. Only until some of those Delta Green, like Black Project and Mayday plays, did I like. I don't even know how I got tuned into them. Probably because it's just Delta Green, and I saw him come up on Twitter. And I'm like, I'll give him a shot, because I can't follow. Sometimes it's hard to follow me personally, fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have multiple characters going out, if I zone out for 30 seconds, like, what just happened? Like, it's driving down the street and passing houses, and you realize you're already down the road. But I agree. But then again, I go and stream. Like, I'll stream a game.
The thing, though, is that you found something that grabbed you. Somebody listened to our show and said, hey, I like these two knuckleheads. I want to listen to these guys because they're fun. They're funny. They have some insight I like, or I just like them because they're personal friends of mine. So that's why I listen to them.
You find a connection.
Yeah. And if you have a show, and your show is basically the band, look, we want to stream our stuff every week, same bat time, same bat channel, and we're going to throw that sucker out there because my crew and I have a blast doing it. We just like doing it. And our goal is because it's fun, and we just like sharing how much fun we're having with anybody who wants to watch us. That's absolutely legit. That's another component of the do-it-yourself approach. You're like, look, that's what we're going to do. And you can well end up with a bunch of followers that love you, or 2 followers that have a good time. And like, yeah, look, Is it the world's best sound quality? No. Could they maybe have a better X, Y, or Z? Yeah, but my God, this group is fun. Oh my God, look at them go. This is just so much fun to watch. These folks are having a blast. That may not trip Sean's trigger. It may not work for me, but it may well work for somebody else. And that's why I'm saying in the interest of like, don't be the gatekeeper kind of guy. I'm not going to tell you can't put a show out there.
Oh, of course. And then I would never go that far.
No, and I'm not saying you wouldn't, man. I'm just saying, be honest with yourself as to why you want to do it. And the honest answer could well be like, look, my friends, I just like doing it. It's this goofy little fun, kitschy thing we like to do. Good. Keep going. Do it.
There is something to be said about, I don't know if you could learn games through that for sure. Mm-hmm. Some folks have alluded to, but it's also, I find it, specifically with producing it, I like listening to the game or shows that are well produced because I can go, how did they pull that off? They interesting. They put in like subtle sound effects for a little bit of immersion. I like that. That's awesome. Nice touch. And having done it, I know how much work that shit is. Like that is no freaking joke. Like recording an actual play and then producing it with like, oh, they get out of a car and you hear the car door shut. They got to find all those sounds and they got to find where to put it in there. It is a pain in the fucking ass. So kudos to people that do that and do it well. But it's also a way to find out how, me personally, I like listening to how game masters approach their group and how they narrate the story. Because I was going to, let me jump in. I honestly think, man, that's the thing. The people I talk to that enjoy watching watching a live stream or watching an actual play is they want to see how the players and game master do their job. Sure.
Which is because I can read the rules and figure out in most systems when to roll my advantage or when to roll my disadvantage, when to roll 2d6, when to roll 10d6. But how did Craig Shipman know when to call for X in that Blades in the Dark game? That's the thing I want to get.
Yeah, why did he let this go, but then he called for a check later?
Yeah.
Like, does that matter? Maybe there's something behind it. Oh, interesting. He did it that way. Huh. Okay, good to know.
I grab more stuff out of actual plays that I've listened to when I pick up Knights and Night periodically. Or even when She's a Super Geek, I grab a couple of those sometimes just to listen to, because they would play some what I would consider off the wall. I've never heard of this fucking game before. What is this thing?
Yeah.
And you listen to like, wow, that's pretty cool. And for me, some of it was how are they implementing the rules? I don't necessarily grok the rule per se because I haven't read it. That's fine. This is how Brett learns. But listening to them like, huh, okay, I got you there. That's neat. That's neat how you did that. Because you're clearly using something in the game. You said so. You're not teaching me how the rule works per se, but you're showing me and teaching me effectively how you implemented it, or why you chose to use it, or change it, or do whatever the fucking game master magic or player magic that you're pulling out. That's some cool stuff.
Sure.
So I think that's a big driver. From my perspective anyway, and the people I've talked to, my friends who enjoy it, my kids who like, oh yeah, I like watching it. I ask AJ why. He goes, well, it's kind of fun, it's entertaining. Poke him a little bit more. He's like, well, I learned. Well, they had some really good examples of like how to describe stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. They had a really good description. He listened to it because he wanted a really good description because he wants to be a better dungeon master. Well, fuck yeah, dude. Go for that, man. Listen, AJ. Go listen to him.
Yeah, it's like, it's so interesting. It's interesting. What do they say? When you see it.
Art's art. It's art. It's pornography. It's good. It's bad.
Right. Yes. That's what it is.
It's so some of it not hypothetical. Excuse me. It's so
objective.
It's objective. Thank you.
Yeah.
The objectivity of it is like, or subjective.
Subjective. Yeah.
All of the objectives, whatever they are.
Subjective.
It's all. Yeah, it's all tough.
But it's a shit. God blast it all. It's a craft. I've brought this up before. Game mastering is a craft, and playing can be for sure.
Absolutely can be.
It's but honing it is tough, and people know a shitty game master when they see one, or when they encounter one, experience one, and finding out what is a good game master can vary, no question.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that some of us can agree that there are methods that game masters can introduce and follow where it is universally a better experience. It doesn't have to be good, but it may be better than something else. And it's all an opinion. But when there's books out there galore, how to game, there's podcasts. Christ.
There's
300 some episodes on game mastering freaking role-playing games.
Yes.
And yet it still goes on and on and on and on. And it's because we're trying to unlock certain things that may make our games better, which may, if they make them better, whatever that is, however you define it, could be more enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a better experience.
Sometimes somebody has bottled a piece of the lightning bolt, right? It's like there's this wonderful lightning thing we all want to bottle and grab it because we have this idea or this thing we want to throw out there. And like, oh my God, Sean really nailed this thing in this stream. That's great. Ooh, I like that idea. Ooh, Mercer did this thing. Oh, I like that. Oh, what'd this person do? Oh my God, what the hell is she doing? This is awesome. And we steal from stuff like this constantly. And I think you and I have talked about like the golden age of gaming, all the shit's available, right? The other thing right now is like, if you want to see a shit ton of people run and play role-playing games, you can do that right now.
Yeah.
So if you've
in multiple languages.
Yes.
You get up on a Sunday or Saturday morning, man, you can watch some Russians play D&D.
Yeah. And I think one of the cool pieces about, and this is kind of fly in the face of Sean's desire for quality, but listening sometimes to the gold standard ones, the big heavy production ones, and some of the heavier do-it-yourself, a couple folks trying to figure out how they're going to make this work, and they're doing the best they can with what they've got. But when you're bouncing around through all of those components as a new player, a prospective player, or a game master, somebody who wants to try to figure something out, understanding that the entire spectrum is there, and that people who told Matt Colville he shouldn't be a game master because he's not a professional actor, you know right away that person's just a douchebag you should never fucking listen to. Because look at the spectrum of people, all streaming different things at different levels and different qualities and so on. You're like, well, boy, I really like this game, but they all use, a super expensive virtual tabletop that I am not in a position to afford. I can, we have to use the freest stuff we can because my group and I don't have the cash. There's people doing great stuff with the free shit, right? Well, they got really good models and figs on the table, and oh man, there's perfectly good theater of mind stuff out there, right? All the different levels and variations are available, and I think the cool part about doing it, if you choose to do it, and you've got you know what you want to do, you've got your goal, you're doing the best you can with what you got, and you're pushing out there. One of the cool things that you're doing, in my opinion, the highest level of what's cool here is when, even if you never meet the person, somebody saw your thing and goes, ooh, that's fucking cool. I can do that. I can run that game. Or I like that idea. That just getting somebody to do it, to try it or whatever, that's pretty wicked. Even if you didn't teach them the full game, even if through watching me run a game or listening to my actual play, you don't learn how to run 5e, it doesn't matter. I got you interested enough that you went, ooh, what's more? Well, I want to learn more about that. That's a pretty cool thing. So I think there's some power in it.
Yeah, there's something to be said about wanting to watch an actual play because you're interested in the game that they're playing because you haven't played it before. Mm-hmm. So you're like, okay, Zweihander, got it. How does this thing work? And if you can glean it to some degree through that play that they're displaying, that certainly helps, and that's pretty big. So
I honestly think, Sean, you do this a little bit with where you take a system, you kind of break it down like, hey, this is how this actually works. You've done a few of those. And I think
I've got Cold Shadows queued up, but I'm not sure I like it. It's kind of long. But
I'll tell you, man, that is I think it's a void in the streaming section or the display piece, because how you learn, how I learn, and how other people learn, it's not easy to do. And it's very difficult, in my opinion, to have a fun gaming session and teach people who aren't at the table. I'm teaching a nebulous group of people who may or may not have the questions I'm answering. It's rough. It can be rough. Anyway,
the way I want to produce those is literally with maybe I'll set it up now that I've cleaned this place up. But I want to do it like, okay, it's going to sound kind of corny, but I want to do it as multiple players, or at least one game master to one player. And I know there's probably some APs that do it. Even Satine Phoenix and Chad Parrish were doing that early on. How to play the game. They have the game designer on. Game designer would roll them through like a specific encounter and go through the rules. Like, this is how you play. And it's awesome. But what I want to do is sit down and go, okay, instead of going through a YouTube video and going, okay, let me explain to you how the core rule set of Cold Shadows works, or what a spell duel works in DCC, because some people are like, great, it would be great if you could implement that into play and show it like while you're playing instead of like talking out a rule book, which I understand. Like, I get it.
Oh yeah. Well, again, that's a different way. Some people will hear you talk out the rule book and like, oh, I got that. Cool. I know how to do that. And they're done.
Right.
Another person is asking a question. Yeah, but can I have an example? Or can I have another example or a different example? Because that's what helps them learn. So it's a tough road to hoe, honestly.
So I want a camera on me, and I'm going to switch to a camera on me and be a game master going, okay, here's how we're going to do this. We're going to go through this is what the things mean. Okay, that sounds good. And then actually pan through the character sheet, and the person can ask questions, and you go, okay. So it's more, I guess, for lack of better words, live, like real scenario, role-playing game scenario, like you would encounter at the table.
Yeah. Where's this on my sheet?
Right. Yeah.
All that shit. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
All right, man. Anything else?
No. I don't think so.
I think at the end here, the other piece is that if you're not streaming your games, dude, that's totally fine.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I don't know why Brett says all this. I don't know why Brett says all this is okay and that's okay. Why do you do that, Brett? I'm just gotta put the foot down.
Put the foot down. It's not okay. Everyone must stream all games at all times.
All the time.
If it's not your bag, it's not your bag.
Brett is the Captain Obvious of stuff. Like,
I am.
If you don't stream your game, it's okay.
Do you know how many?
Don't tell me there's a lot of people that think that they should have to.
But I see people on Twitter and other places where new upcoming people are getting stuff, and we'll be talking about streaming, we talking about doing stuff, and sometimes people don't want the pressure. They're like, hey, I want to play a game.
Yeah.
I like playing with you guys, but I don't want to be on display this week. I had a shit week. I don't want to deal with any scrutiny. I don't want to deal with anybody watching me figure out how to play this game. I don't care. I don't want to have to, dress nice to be on the fucking to be in a goddamn game. I want to show up, in my sweatpants and my t-shirt and play the goddamn game. I want to just relax and not deal with anything. Because for some folks, it's work. It can be stressful. And it's not for everybody. Not everybody likes to be in the public eye, man.
No, I get it. I absolutely agree.
That's what I'm saying, is that if it's not a thing for you, don't worry. It's totally fine. Doesn't make you a lesser gamer or anything. And I know, like you said, it's Captain Obvious there, but when we talk about something for a little over an hour, we can accidentally drive an idea into people's heads, like, hey, this is, if you're going to do this, or like it's something. But anyway, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Don't screw up your game group by saying we want to stream. Because then you might have gamers in your group that are like, man, why are you going to screw up a good thing?
Yeah, why are you fucking with my game, man? We're all having fun. Stop doing that.
I don't want to be on a stream. Streaming and podcasting is different, though. Like, if you put on an AP during a podcast, what's the expectations of your players and everything? And there's a whole, that's a different thing. Some people are maybe okay or better with just audio pieces.
Oh yeah, because it can get edited too. Somebody's going to edit out my ums, my uncomfortable long pauses, my whatever. That's helpful. Doing it live, some people feel like they're standing up and giving a large presentation to an unknown audience, and that can be very difficult.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right.
That's enough of that. Let's move on.
That's it. We don't have any die roll this week.
Oh my God. No die rolls.
I can point you to some YouTube videos on how to remodel your house.
Good enough.
If you want that in the die roll.
No, we're fine. We're good.
Hit me up. I'll send you links. How to get electrocuted in 2 easy steps.
110. It doesn't hurt as bad as you think by Sean Kelly.
I'm like, I can do it live. It's no big deal. Zach.
Son of a bitch.
I got lit like 3 times. I'm like, all right, that's enough. I got to find the breaker to this goddamn circuit. Turn this shit off.
That's awesome. All right, man. Next week, we're talking about modifying encounters on the fly.
What?
Yeah, that one came up in the old forum, so I want to bring that one out. So that's what we'll be talking about.
Fudge dice. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, just lie.
Right.
And make shit up, lie on. What the hell do they know? Anyway. You good, man?
I'm good. Hey, thanks everybody for showing up. Sorry we didn't record on Monday. Thanks for showing up on Wednesday. We do normally record.
Yes, we do.
Live Mondays at 8 p.m. Central Time at gamingandbs.com/Twitch. He'll get you there. Otherwise, go find us on your podcatcher of choice and hit subscribe and listen to the episodes via audio. Or if you find this on YouTube, give us a like or subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, thank you very much. I'm Sean.
And I'm Brett. Good night and good game and all.
This episode of Gaming and BS produced with help from the following BSers: Vornak, Bob Fletcher, Roger French, Kevin Keneally, Miniature Master Tendrils, Mike Coleman, Wayne Peacock, Michael O'Holland, Chris Shorb, Orcus Dorcas, Todd Sharp, Craig Shipman, AWOL Trooper, Quigley Malcolm, Larry Hollis, Isaiah Aries Christian, The Duke in Purple, Ed Nyes, Jay Plata, Adam Grotejohn, Phil McClory, $1 Adventure Frameworks, Eric Frankhouse Presents, Daniel Garrett, Jim Ingram, Rory Weston, Mike Hess Jr., Ghost GM, Hoos Carl, Eric Tavola, Cole Cago, Henry Newcomb, Militia Bashinsky, Harrigan, David F. Baylog, Rich Wishan, Brian Rumble, Aaron Coleman, Jeff Goad, Aaron Ralia, Niall Diamond, Maurice, Corey Gonzalez, John Kayward, Jeff Seifert, Andy Olson, Michael Dinos, Eric Avia, Perry Besor, Laramie Wall, Brian Kurtz, Robert Nemeth, George Sedgwick, Eric Salzvadel, Angus, Corey Welch, Josh Wallace, Howard Bishop, Craig, Sky, Chad Gleeman, Mark Richmond, Ron Bishop, Larry Hout, Curtis Takahashi, Christopher Lang, Old Scoozer Roleplaying, Jim Fitzpatrick, Ray Otis, Jared Rasher, Stefan Dragonspawn, Roger Braslett, Craig Huber, C.W. Mellencamp, Dan Lavalley, Eileen Barnes, Brandon Barnes, Pure Mongrel, Mirko Froelich, Mark Tasaka, Jason Hobbs, Chris Steele, Andy Hall, Eric Jeppesen, Tony Sugarloaf Baker, Old School DM, and Joe Swick. Whew. Hey, interested in playing some games? Maybe trying something new? Head over to gamingandbs.com/games. It's going to take you to a forum post. In that forum post, they'll point you to a spreadsheet where game masters are putting games they're willing to run for fellow BSers. Then there you can sign up. Or head over to the sheet that says players, and then you can put down some games on your wish list. Maybe a game master will catch it and run it for you. Anyways, it's a good opportunity for trying new games and playing with new people. So again, head over to gamingandbs.com/games. Thanks, BSers!
This has been a Litterbox Studio production.